I want to encourage you and say this, that God will strategically close doors with the intentions of coming to you in your situation so that he can have an opportunity to show you how big he is, so it can strengthen your faith. And so in this season, or in these seasons where you feel like doors have closed, think of God enough. Know that God is big enough to orchestrate a closed door so you can appreciate an open door around the corner. Y'all, I just encourage myself. Hey, y'all, it's Chawanna Stevens with the Well Network, and this is the Life and Podcast, because you know life be lifing. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all, it's Chawanna Stevens with the Life and Podcast. Hey, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Chawanna with the Life and Podcast. Today we're actually talking about finding praise in closed doors or through closed doors. A subtitle would be Trusting God Through Tough Times. Before we get into the video though, make sure that you like this video, let the algorithm know that you're watching, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you can become a part of the community, and make sure that you comment on this video because I want to know you. I want to get to know you. All right, so let's get into the video. So I want to say that this past year, like the last 365 days, have been really tough because I feel like lots of opportunities and doors that were opened in prior years were closed. And I want to explain to you that when a door closes, and you probably already know, but when a door closes, it kind of messes with your psyche a little bit. It messes with your self-esteem. If you see an opportunity and it's something that you're really excited about, and then it gets taken away, you're like, wait a minute, and you're trying to figure out, why is this a dead end? Why did this close? And so I was dealing with that. I was trying to figure out what is going on, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with us, what's wrong in this space, why are my opportunities closing, right? And so I remember one specific day I was actually frustrated about the whole thing, and I was upset and just trying to go back in my mind as to, okay, where did I go wrong? And I realized in that moment that God will not allow any door to close unless he had an opportunity for another door to open. I remember years ago, we had lost our house, our childhood house, and it had all of the things that I could remember my mom by. Old rocking chairs, old pictures, paintings, decor, things that I know that as an adult I would want because it would allow me to be reminded of my childhood. And I remember another incident where a friend of mine was talking, and I was encouraging her, and I was saying, look, I lost all of that stuff, and although I lost it and it's stuff that I would have wanted, in this space, when I walk through my home, when I walk through, or look at opportunities in my life, I know that God does not take anything from you that he is not willing to replace. And so when I started thinking about these last 365 days, that day on the floor, just wallowing in my frustration, God reminded me of what I was saying to someone else, the encouragement that I was giving someone else. And so I actually want to encourage the person that is struggling in tough times, because it seems like you're in a drought. It seems like you're in a desert place, and you don't see where your resources are coming from. I want to say to you that there is purpose behind it. I can also think about Matthew 6:45, I think somewhere around there, where Jesus immediately told the disciples, hey, y'all go in a boat, I'm going to go pray. And then later on, he's walking on water coming to them. I want to encourage you and say this, that God will strategically close doors with the intentions of coming to you in your situation so that he can have an opportunity to show you how big he is, so it can strengthen your faith. And so in this season, or in these seasons where you feel like doors have closed, think of God enough. Know that God is big enough to orchestrate a closed door so you can appreciate an open door around the corner. Y'all, I just encourage myself. So I want you to know that God is coming to you. He's setting this situation up for you so that you can see his greatness in it. And so in order for us to really get the magnitude of this, we got to decide that we are going to live in a life or in a space of praise. What I am learning is that even though I may be frustrated in my tough situation, I may be frustrated in a drought, if I can just find a reason to praise God for what he's already done, let me tell you what happens when I praise. For some reason, when I praise, I begin remembering what God has already done. And when it comes to my current situation and the toughness that I'm dealing with in a moment, I start to forget about that. And what that praise does for me is it makes me focus on the strength of God. And I just get excited about that. And as I am praising God, God builds me up so that I can deal with my tough time. And after I have praised, it's like I can deal with the situation with a different kind of grace. And so I want to encourage you to start intentionally praising. And you may say, wait a minute, when you're dealing with a tough time, you don't feel like praising. You're right. You don't. But you make yourself do it anyway. And what God is doing while you are praising is he's strengthening you, making you have the stamina to go through it. And then when you get to the open door, you can walk through it with stamina. You can walk through it with grace. You can walk through it with the power of God resting on you so that you can maintain the open door because you praised through it. Okay. So tell me what you're thinking about that, and let's dialogue about it. There may actually be a part 2 to this. Stay up.